All right, friends, welcome to a really interesting series here in Titans League. This is the fourth round for these two players in a very tightly contested Group C. We've got Slam in the red. He comes in with 6 wins after 3 rounds. And then in the blue, we've got Sitaux. And Sitaux also 6 wins after 3 rounds. You'll also notice, if you're watching later on YouTube, that Dragonstar is at 6 wins after 3 rounds. And Kingston and Overtaken haven't even played their 3rd round yet. So this group is like wide open. The one player that's really struggling in the group seems to be Stark. And Stark has been 3-0'd by every player he's faced thus far. So it's likely in that group that Stark is going to be relegated. But the other 5 could really go anywhere mathematically. Whoever wins this series, though, gives themselves a really good opportunity to potentially get first in the group and get promoted straight into Platinum for the next season. The map here is Spiral. And Spiral, you've got 2 water areas. You can see here for Slam, he's got some water to work with. And then obviously for Sitaux. And I expect Sitaux to work with that. Slam, he must have something else in mind here. He actually has ventured over here. This is by design. This is on both sides of this map. And there's extra, there's an extra sheep and an extra cow in there. And Slam already broke these out. And so he went for the early mill because he's Gurjaras. And so he's got 8 herdables inside of that mill right now. One of which being a cow, of course, which has a little bit more food on it. So that tells me that Slam is not interested in docking, because if you're going to play with the Gurjaras, you want to get the most out of them anyways. You do go for the mill right away. So if you go for the mill immediately, you delay the lumber camp, which delays the wood income. And by the time you get the wood for the dock, that's the time you might need to think about the barracks. And it's just basically not something you can really play into with the Gurjaras on a map like this. If the map's a bit more closed, you could then add the dock later, because you don't need the military buildings, but you absolutely need the military buildings here. A small little shout out to the people who are watching on the Extras channel in the future. Leave me a comment and say, hey, I heard that T90. Thank you, guys. I'll be really interested to see the hype surrounding TTL from Golds going in towards Platinum. I feel like for many people who have already been watching, you guys have been all over this format. You guys are the true dedicated fans, but I feel like it's going to be a slow build-up. We're midway through Gold right now. What really gets exciting is the last 2 weeks. And we're closing in on the last 2 weeks of Gold. Like, we're pretty much there for some of the players. Some of the players still need to play week 3. But yeah, thanks for watching. Whatever else. Obviously, people who watch in the streams too. Thanks for the interest. Anyway, Slam comes forward. He sees the dock. This should come as no surprise to him. And fun fact about Slam, I might be getting this wrong. Here, we're going to give Hardy extra work. Hardy, tell the people later on if I'm right or wrong. But I'm pretty certain Slam has actually played this map in every single series. And he won once and lost twice. I think that's the case. I might be wrong. And ooh, look at Slam. He's coming forward with a Vil. And he's going to dock this. Wow. Okay, so Slam's going here with a purpose. And he's also going to head out here, I assume, to mill. Take what's left of the deer. And then take the berries. But again, big wood problems here for Slam with this build. Like, notice the decision-making he has to go through right now. So he's got 5 on wood. He doesn't even have the wood for the mill yet. And if he does go for the mill here, then he's not going to have the barracks. So Slam's opening is basically just surrounding the water. And, Sitaux just spotted this dock, and now Sitau's going to need to adapt a little bit. Sitaux going very heavy on wood here and also placing a mining camp on gold. He is going to try and defend his water. All of this said, though, I mean, Sitau's not building up towards the barracks yet either. It should be a bit easier for him to go for the barracks into the range, which is what I guess he'll do, but both players kind of in similar spots there. Imagine if Slam, though, had a stable right now. Obviously, he's not going to realistically be able to play towards that just yet, but he's got lots of food income. Also going to be interested in if he chooses to eat some of the sheep and the cows. In a normal game, like an Arabia game, players will be doing that these days. Slam may choose to just leave them in the mill. It does give you a resource trickle. All right, so Slam sees the TC from Sitaux. Sees the gold. Sees the barracks isn't up yet. Slam being really annoying with this camel. And his fire galley is at 80% right now. So there's a very good chance he'll kill all the fishing ships here. So mission accomplished there. This was Slam's first civilization pick. I thought he would go for this on Land's Madness, and I'm pretty sure Sitaux thought that that would be the case as well. But yeah, it's going to be really difficult to keep your fishing ships alive now because you've got the camel, but then you've also got the fire ship to worry about, and there's just not a lot of room to run here. So Slam didn't go for fishing ships, but I mean, not that big a deal here, right? Sitaux repairing. This is interesting. Sitau's just sacrificing this one next. I mean, I don't know if it's worth it to repair a fishing ship, but he's trying his best. And I think we have to give credit to Sitaux. I mean, he's currently winning the water war because of what he's done here with the small repairs. And now Sitaux is blocking Slam, so Slam can't run away. So far, Sitaux hasn't lost any HP on that ship. Very important here for Slam to make sure he at least kills all 3 fishing ships, though. And honestly, I think at this point, you don't even invest into water anymore. Like, I would say just give up on it at this point. I'm impressed with Sitaux, though. Like, I feel like the 2 fires accomplished what they needed to. Impressed with how Sitaux fared. Behind this now, Slam's like, okay, I need some farms. Notice he isn't taking any of the sheep, and he's adding a stable to try and go scouts. Sitaux has scouted that there are villagers on the berries there. By the way, there's gold here, which becomes important later on, in case you guys have never seen this map before. But expanding to these little circles, you can see the circles on the grass, will give you access to gold and stone long term. Love the scouting from Slam. Like, now he sees the 2 archers. So this will not be much of a surprise to him. And Sitaux tried to move out without any spears. He won't lose an archer. So it's not actually too bad for him. If Slam would have had the scout there, it would have led to getting 2 kills, though. But now there's a spearman. Now Sitaux can think about pushing forward. Both players needing to switch into greater food eco. Sitaux just completely abandons the lumber camp and goes for the farms here. Look at the idle TC time for both of them. Like, this has been awkward for them, to say the least. Does Sitaux know it's going to be scouts from Slam? He doesn't actually know that there's even a military building. And the camel dies. But there will be 3 scouts here. I think what Slam will want to do, he might not get the opportunity, but he's going to want to attack the spearman with the vills. Get rid of the spearman. Yeah, that's what he's aiming for here. Good micro from both players here, and it's going to end up being pretty even scenario still. Eco count similar. Slam, though, he's going to kill these 2 archers here. That's a really nice find. Very well played from Slam. Pathing's not cooperating for him, but boom. Big pickups there. And now, of course, he has a bit of mobility to work with, right? Another fire galley for Sitaux. Again, you got to question, is it really worth it to make more navy? But he wants to just make sure that he can take the fish there. And here's Slam. Well, Slam shows up to the berries, thinks about it. Sitaux is aware. Sitaux now with 3 spearmen on the field after losing 1. Ooh, and Sitaux is also docking here. This is very uncommon on this map because normally both players have been fishing. So I like the creativity here from Sitaux. A lot of players, they can't think outside the box. Sitaux able to do that, clearly. Slam is making skirms at home, which is important because of the archers, right? And he's just done a little circle around Sitau's base. A very close game thus far between 2 players that want that first place position in this group. You don't want to have to go into the playoffs. Everyone's so beastly in gold. If you end up in 2nd place, you still have to play a 3rd place player in a playoff series. That's not going to be very easy for you. Everyone's a killer in gold, right? I think the exceptions, if you guys feel there are exceptions, would only be the players who come up from silver. Those are the weakest. But still not going to be easy to topple a lot of them. Slam making more skirms, Slam making more scouts. So usually in these situations, you want a stable in Sitau's position. You want something to compete against the skirms. Because the skirms can take out your spearmen and your archers. And as I say that, we have a pause, unfortunately. Hopefully the pause concludes here in a sec. But yeah, there's a stable. So I'm concerned for Sitaux, though. If Slam focuses all of his army right here, sometimes Slam tries to be a little too fancy. This is the obvious target. If he just goes there now, the skirms will clear up the spears and the archers, and then the scouts are going to be...
Yes.
There's going to be a massive scout number, too. It just feels like such a weird position for Slam to be going to right now. It's so difficult to do damage here. He knows there's a mill. Anyways, here he is. Sitau's probably not expecting it. They have just come back from a pause, so possibly a little bit of confusion. But now Sitau's probably like, oh, I guess I'll go forward with my army then? I don't really know. So I'm disappointed for Slam because I feel like this is an obvious opportunity. He would be engaging against all of this and killing this, forcing some scout production from Sitaux. But Sitaux realizes, oh, that's actually good for me. I don't need to produce any scouts, and I'm just going to try and go to Castle Age then, so I can go for knights. So I think a big missed opportunity there for the Canadian. Still could eventually make his way over there, but Sitaux is basically given 2 minutes to stabilize and breathe a little bit, and those 2 minutes could be hugely important to his chances here. Remember, he's got 2 fishing ships here, about to be 3, which is really nice. Res collected in total this game. He's been ahead. Not in food, but in other things. And, like, Slam is just... it's so frustrating. He's just here, and he can't do anything. These villagers are all here for the taking. The army's here for the taking. Could honestly end up deciding the game, because Sitaux, he doesn't have to worry about this army at all. And he could just go right for the berries. And Slam correctly realizes that this is exposed area, so he's going to drop a tower. It feels like the army that Slam invested into just did not get the value that he set out to get here. And it's a frustrating thing for Slam fans because they've seen this before where he plays really good game, gets the army numbers he needs, and just doesn't do the easy work, right? Like, the hard work was getting to the position, getting the timings on the army, defending from the initial attacks. That was actually the easy work for him, is to head right there. Now let's see if he can defend. He's 2 minutes away from Castle Age. We are going to see a Bodcanero coming in for Sitaux here. Now, important to remind you guys, there's not a lot of gold next to your town centers. So Sitaux, he might... Oh, he doesn't have scouting on this. So I was going to say he might make a run for it to get gold. Doesn't actually have scouting. Slam. He sees the ranged units. It will be crossbowman with bodkin. He's already dropped the tower on the woodline, but it doesn't really protect this woodline that easily. And he's still slowly chipping away at killing villagers here. Knight, however, from Sitaux is going to be here. Should be able to deal with all of this. And Sitaux is going to build a TC close to the middle. Had he scouted this gold, he would have just TC'd there. Actually, this knight will die. It'll kill a lot of the scouts, but the knight will end up going down. I'm sure both players are looking at this right now. And Slam, lucky not to lose many villagers yet to the crossbows. And, well, he's killed 2 in this game. Now he's going to start to lose villagers, but he is going to kill all the crossbowmen. So, honestly, I don't think that's too bad for Slam. And the scouts made it through. The skirmishes had weakened a lot of these villagers. And Slam's 15 seconds away from the next stage. Probably didn't realize how weak some of those villagers were. But the Eco KD ends up being 4-4. Slam will have a lot of food in the bank. And Slam can now make Shravamshas or camels. And look at the value from Slam now as the scouts kill even more villagers. Yo, what an interesting game we have here, guys. So, like, normally, what I kind of expected to happen there was Sitaux holds army control over the game, kills a couple vills, and then he's on 2 town centers, producing lots of vills. Things are looking good, right? But he doesn't really have a lot of army now. And the tricky thing against the Gurjaras is if you make ranged units, they have the Shravamsha. And if you make stable units, they have the camels that do additional bonus damage. So, like, Slam could be extremely annoying with all these stable units. And Slam's food ecos look pretty good this game, considering he hasn't had any fishing ships. Food collected was high before for him. It is still higher now, but still Sitaux with more resources collected overall. Sitaux is kind of in defense and stabilize mode. economically. He would need a larger crossbow mass to consider moving forward. And these Shravamshas are really hard to keep track of. Is Slam looking for damage on wood lines? And we'll see if he's able to find it. Slam doesn't have a lot of vision on this area right now. Might see the scout and get an idea that the crossbowman could be around. And Slam probably realizing now my opponent's going to be getting gold towards the middle, near that TC, because he didn't see any gold there. Looks like Slam did notice this, though. He's going to need, yeah, like 5 Shravamshas should be enough for these crossbows. As long as they're all together when the fight begins, I believe he's going to clear that up. The other Shravamshas might have gone down. These things move so fast, even casters can't follow them. But yeah, I think Slam should be able, even without the final armor, I think he should be able to kill these things. He gets into position. The reason Shravamsha's strong is because they dodged basically the initial volley because of the quote-unquote dodging. And, well, I mean, Sitaux gets really good value getting into that corner like that. Well played. Kind of expected Slam to bring over his skirms and his archers to help out here. All right, so this gets cleared up eventually, but Sitaux is up to 57 eco, and Slam is just at 43. So Sitaux has lost a lot of his army when he's gone forward, but he certainly has good economy. Now, Slam almost has enough stone for a castle, friends. And I think we know exactly where he's going to place that castle. He's going to place it here. You can build there. You can't build here, which is weird, but you can build there. It's designed for a TC or a castle. Slam's sending the Vils. Not sure if there's much Sitaux can really do about this. He does have knights and camels there, but he does not have the numbers. And there go the Vils for Slam. He's going to have siege behind this as well. And I'm not really seeing the army, but there's a house! That house is huge! That is the most important house Sitaux will build this entire series. That could save the game for him. I don't think there's space for a castle now. So Slam's like, crap, I can't build it anywhere, like, you know, in the middle of the gold. Now I'm going to place it here. And maybe this house is a bad idea, because it feels like if this castle goes up, it's actually more successful than the original castle would have been. So well played from Sitaux to build the house there to block the castle foundation, but that castle will go up, and there's so many villagers exposed here for Sitaux. I mean, again, he knows where that gold is, which is huge, but Slam does as well. And, I mean, all these villagers will die. The efficiency's falling apart. This TC will probably continue to produce vills because players are always producing out of their town centers. Eco KD, 16-5 right now. Slam's still behind by about 15 or so villagers, but Sitaux finding himself in a position that's very similar, to what happened in the Dragonstar series, where he gets the TCs, he gets the map control, but he just can't hold army control anymore, and then he gets castle dropped. It's still not a ridiculously, like, convincing position from Slam. This isn't enough to necessarily win the game right here, but if Sitaux can't find gold, he's never going to be able to fight this stuff back. But he can use the market, maybe, to sell some things here or there to get gold. Still a 20 villager lead for Sitaux. And Sitaux has made a run down here. And I wonder, does Slam... Oh, Slam never scouted that gold, but you should know. If you know the map, you should know there's a gold down here. I imagine I probably know the map a bit more than the players do, because I've casted so many games on it. But then again, this is like the 4th time Slam has played this so far in Gold League. Camels could possibly deal with this Shravamshas. Slam now adding his town centers. Again, Slam knows about this gold. Could think that there's a gold down here, but right now this gold is kind of keeping Sitaux in the game. Really like Slam's position, though. I like the eco upgrades both players have. I like the army compositions both players have. I would maybe like to see Slam think about maybe a monastery. Make a few monks here to heal up his units and get any conversions. But so far, this mangonel is more than paid for itself. Lots of repairing done here from Sitaux, as these two players continue to fight basically for the #1 spot in the group. Slam's feeling like he's not doing enough damage here. You're doing enough damage here, dude. Just keep going. This also gives you time to focus on producing villagers and expanding your economy. Seems like this is the focus right now for Slam. He's repositioned. He killed some vills that were in that TC. But he's now given up the hill. And it's full camel from Sitaux. Because Sitaux was able to find this gold, he's able to get quite a few camels now. And he's got 10, 11 camels. As skirmishes, they're going to die to the camels pretty quickly. Kajara camels are superior because they do a little bit more bonus damage. But the bonus damage against the camel is inconsequential. They do bonus damage against each other, but it's like... I think it's an extra 1 damage. Like, +1 damage, but it doesn't seem that crazy, right? So, yeah, not trying to be critical of Slam here. I'm like the biggest Slam fan you'll find, but I really do feel like holding this hill and denying this gold for as long as possible, holding that position would have been key here. Sitau's still alive because of the vill count he got earlier, but he's only 10 ahead now. And what a cool game. This map is so freaking fun, man. I have enjoyed this game so much. Both these players are so good. Sitaux will not die. And Slam still just making camels, still running around with these skirmishes. Skirmishes is the most annoying unit in the game. It really is. It's so fast. It dodges, but it's not really dodging if you know the definition of the word dodge, because you could see the shots hit them directly, but it's a dodge. I don't like the skirmishes. I've made it clear. But whether I like it or not is not important to the statement. They're annoying. Annoying to deal with. I think people would at least agree with that. Sitaux gets a really nice conversion there. And he's going double monastery here. Sitau's going to be able to hold this here, I think, guys. But Slam currently has a castle near the middle area. He doesn't have a TC here. But, I mean, he's got vision on that area. Where is he going to place a castle, I wonder? Oh, he wants to place it there. Oh, boy. Well, he probably figures this is the only gold that Sitaux has. Oh, goodness. Monks go for conversions. This castle might not go up. The siege for Slam's going in for the monks. Comparing upgrades, they have identical upgrades here. They have identical camel numbers, so that tells me that the castle will actually probably go up, right? Because the camels will cancel each other out. And then the villagers can still continue to build this castle. So Slam continuing to pressure here. He has control of the middle gold. He'll back away now. Both players just trading camels back and forth. And once this castle goes up, Sitau's going to have about 15 villagers here that are all exposed. And this castle is in range of this wood line. It's going to be so difficult to use your monks now because you're close to the castle fire. What a great game here, and what a great game from Slam. Slam really delivering here. And honestly, it's been... He's just been able to control the game. Initially, I thought he was going to struggle an early castle when I saw Sitaux was up so much faster than him. But ever since then, it's been all Slam.
Yes.
Okay, so Sitaux... He's asking about a bug, I guess, with monks. He's like, did you have that bug? I didn't hear conversions. I've had that bug before. I've had it, Sitaux, so if it makes you feel better. But I imagine for Sitaux, there's a bit more emotion involved in in the bug than for me if I was just playing a ranked game, because this is a really big deal here. I don't know if it would have made that big of an impact in how things played out, but he might have found it difficult to know what monk had already got a conversion and what monk had not. So the castles are doing enough for you right now if you're Slam. You know, this is doing half the job. But Sitau's still alive, and Sitaux still hanging on. He does try and get a counterattack in with camels. He does pull Slam out of position, but Slam chewing up the camels from Sitaux. This is really the only army he has. And you're not going to do too much damage with forward camels anyways. And Sitaux says, actually, I have 0 sound notifications. Okay, so I was going to say, he didn't react right away there. And Slam says classic DE. Yep. Yep. Both players very correct. I'm not going to sit here and act like there hasn't been a lot of bugs the last 6 months. It's been really bad. We kind of went backwards with a couple patches, guys. But anyways, frustrating that's happening to Sitaux. I still do not think like these bugs are the result of his or that the position that he's in right now is a result of the lack of notifications over the last 5 minutes, if that is the case. It is the result of Slam's amazing push and amazing aggression. The double castle in the middle still so important. Sitaux, though, building up towards his own castle. And if he can get a castle somewhere close by, maybe here, and then think about trebs to treb these down, maybe he could get the middle back. The problem is Slam's got way more camels than him. Slam's got 27 camels, and he's going to have +2 armor. Obviously, in order to get that, though, Slam is delaying his Imperial Age significantly. So it's something you have to be careful about with Slam. If you're Slam, excuse me. This is Sitau's gold income, and then he has 1 relic. He might be able to snag the 2nd relic here. Slam's going to see that castle, know what it means. He delayed production temporarily, and he is on his way to the Imperial Age. The camels meet camels down here. Sitaux reacts again, and frustrating times for Sitaux. He's just, anytime he moves out, he's going to be found. Slam has so many camels. The positive here for Sitaux is that camels are not that great against trebuchets. So and they're not that good against castle fire. Slam makes another castle here. He bought a lot of that stone too. Your way back is you have to take these castles out. It's not like you could sneak in here really. You'd be too exposed. So a faster imp, access to a tech like Farimba if you can afford it. And then, you know, maybe getting the ball rolling with trebs could do something here for you. I also think we're going to see a lot of wood being sold right now from Sitaux, because he's going to realize that gold is a problem for him. And actually, look at this. I mean, he's behind, right? So he has to take a risk. And so he's sending villagers to maybe TC this gold. And Slam doesn't see this army. He knows he's vulnerable here because he didn't have a TC yet. So he actually was expecting the camel army, and it's even better than that for him. The camel army was on the way, and he's going to end up killing all these villagers, giving him a 20 villager lead now. It was a risk that Sitaux had to take. It's kind of funny how that works out. Slam now is going to TC this, and then he will be, you know, more comfortable leaving this area. So heavy camels on the way. Sitaux even selling his stone now. He's just selling whatever he can get good prices on. And if he can get a fight with his heavy camels while Slam's camels are not heavy, it could do something here for him. It's still going to be very difficult. Sitau's going to find this gold here. He doesn't have the stone to TC it, so he's going to drop a TC there. Slam will have vision of that. Farimba, okay, guys, there's a 20-second window. Well, Farimba will be in 13 seconds. So you could just take the fight with Farimba without heavy camel. But this is not the time to take the fight. Slam's going to get a little bit of a camel trap here. And Sitau's trying to leave, and Slam says no. He's shut the door. And he's Canadian, so he's going to apologize after it, too. That's part of the rules of being a Canadian. Oh, my God! What a great find there from Slam. He clicked the camels past the other camels, and these guys are stuck, dude. They are stuck. They cannot fight, which makes matters so much worse here for Sitaux. That was a really nice play there from Slam, and Slam is looking incredible here. He's in incredible form, incredible shape, in full control of the gold. It is still funny to me that he hasn't actually sent any villagers to mine the gold in the middle. He hasn't necessarily needed it, but you would think that he would have maybe even built a TC there. He's got vision on this gold, so that's where he's sending some of his army right now. And he has way more camels than Sitaux. We know Sitaux is struggling with gold access, and because of that, he hasn't been able to get the army count up. This game has been all Slam ever since that one little blip of action in Slam's base in early Castle Age. Ever since then, Slam's had control. And Slam is nearing 200 population, and I think Sitaux has to recognize that he's going to have to fight his way back in this series. Little camel raid here. These guys have 7+, well, soon 7 attack versus 7+1. So these are the superior camels for the time being. But how are you going to make more camel friends for those camels? I don't think you do. And the TC fire from Slam will help out. Here, Villagers aren't really back to work yet. And the GG is called. Slam takes the first game, meaning currently, with live standings, he is actually leading the group. Again, every game matters, okay? It's important for, I said it before the series, it's very important for Sitaux and Slam if they wish to have a chance at number 1, or if they wish to just be, number 2 or number 3. So basically playoff territory in the groups to not get swept. Sitaux obviously has the quality to be able to win 2 straight, though, and go up 2-1 here, but it would be pretty sick if Slam can continue this form. Get a second and maybe even a third victory. I thought this was a really good game, and I felt like the key was Sitaux forced the issue with his crossbowman and then didn't have a big follow-up. So it's a classic case of someone having the villager lead, but then not having control over the game. And if you give up control at the highest level, players are going to just do dances around you. And what better unit to do dances with than the Shravamsha, which Slam was using for a while there. 2-1 KD for Slam. That was pretty convincing. And in the end, he had more of every resource except wood. But the game was a lot closer than this suggests, and even this suggests. This was all a result of the control Slam had over the last 10-15 minutes. There's definitely a point in that game where it looked like Sitaux was going to be able to take it due to his economy. But he just couldn't find any good engagements. And honestly, the castle from Slam was huge. If Slam didn't build up towards a castle, I don't think this game goes as it did. And he had 2 castles dropped on gold positions in the Castle Age, which is pretty freaking awesome to see. Okay, game 2, catching up to live time, as always. In Slam, he went for the confidence pick here. So when I saw Slam's draft, I was concerned that he would go Gurjaras here, which is a bit more of a defensive mindset, because typically you see a lot of stable units, and Gurjaras can counter those stable units. But I was worried that it would turn into a situation where Sitaux might have knights and then pikemen, which can then be problematic for those camels. But Slam went for the Gurjaras, his number 1 pick in the first game. So the neutral map, this is now Sitau's home map. And Sitaux has gone for the good old Huns. Franks versus the Huns, expect a lot of mobility. This should be a fun one for people who like action. Just some basics on Lance Madness. Players are spread out. Resources are spread out. So there's gold, food, stone everywhere. Unlike a normal map. And then you cannot wall on the little rock paths that you can see here. So full walling is not an option. And you're going to have to go for smaller walls around your villagers on the wood lines. Why Huns on this map? I think Huns are really good. Huns are really good for this map. It will be a bit more awkward in quick wall situations if you can't house wall, but I think the idea here is play aggressive, play open. And that is what this map is kind of all about. And I think where Huns don't shine is when maps are very wallable. And considering this map is not very wallable, I think the Huns could do quite well here. Also, I think that Franks really struggle against Cav Archers. They've got some of the worst skirms in the game. So if, let's say, Slam falls a bit behind, and then in Castle Age, Sitaux goes for 3 or 4 archer range Cav Archers, which are very cheap with the Huns. If it gets to like a significant mass, like, you really just cannot stop Cav Archers as the Franks. But Sitaux had picked Khmer first. And the final map, which will be played regardless of who wins this one, because it's play all 3, is Hideout. So I'm thinking that he went Khmer for Hideout. And then I think Slam is Turks. And Slam has the Cumans and even the Portuguese. Like, Slam's got some really good civs saved for Hideout, honestly. I forget the rest of Sitau's draft. A lot of players used to think Khmer were the best hideout civilization, so it's not that crazy that Sitaux would be saving it for that. Slam getting loom already. Whoa, does he really think he can click up at this time? I don't think he can click up at this time. I think he needs to add another vill. Let's see. Yep, he added another vill. Feel like 18 pop is probably the fastest that you can conceivably do without really stretching your economy. Because yes, the faster you go up, in theory, you know, the faster you can do damage, but you need to have resources to be able to afford things, right? So there is a thing, you can go up too quick. You can be too aggressive. This isn't about the amount of scouts you get in the first couple minutes of feudal age. It's really about mid-feudal. How's your economy looking? Can you imagine a tower here? You'll probably never see it because it's land madness. But a tower here would be really good to deny both of those lumber camps. And Sitau's going to go with a more modest 20 pop. So there's a bit of a lead here for Slam in terms of the feudal age time. But I actually don't like it. I'm more of a 19 pop guy myself. He might struggle a bit to afford the stable here. He's really at the limit in terms of res, right? He's going to need a house soon, and he needs a stable. I don't think things are going to be as well timed as he's hoping for here. This is a very Slam thing. I've seen him do it with Mongols a lot over the years. He'll just transfer like all of his villagers underneath the TC onto stragglers. Well, Sitau's going to walk by, see the town center keep moving. And Slam, Garrison Slam. Oh, man. Yeah, look at that. Slam's like, all right, I've got the resources, T90. What are you talking about? So Slam's making it work. And it could snowball. Because he will get the scouts out a little bit faster. That's the whole idea behind it. For Sitaux, I expect an immediate spearman. This timing should scare him a little bit. The efficiency and the amount on wood, and the fact you don't need to make houses either with the Huns, all that stuff bodes very well for the farming eco long-term for Sitaux. He'll be really... Things are going to start to feel very smooth here. Realistically, there's not many areas for Slam to do damage right now. The Slam's going to run forward. He's going to see the stable, and he's brought a spearman. Sitau's going to have a second spearman on the way, but so will Slam. So Slam might try and force the issue here. It's going to be difficult, though, once that second spearman arrives for Sitaux. It feels like he's just going to have the numbers in defense that he wants. A couple hits here or there on units. A Slam now with 3 scouts, but what can he really do with it? Eco's been really smooth for Slam, though, I have to say. Farm upgrade for Franks is free, so we had that. And I'm liking the balance of things I'm seeing at home. Oh, there's a tower! There's actually a tower here. Whoa, he's actually doing it. Did Sitaux see that? Sitaux doesn't see that. Whoa, that tower's sick. I didn't think that would happen. Slam, he should honestly call ACCM right now and thank him for that idea. Because that type of tower has happened to him so many times over the last 5 years against ACCM and backed. That is why it's in his mind. That's a good tower. I think it was awkward for him to decide where he places it. But I think, like, look, it's already paid off for him. He's killed a villager because of it. And now Sitau's got to abandon his whole wood line because he's concerned the villagers here can get hit. That's a tower that can win you a game right there. Sitaux trying his best. That scout is in a villager right now. I don't even know if you can leave with it. Sitaux trying his best to defend his kill some scouts, but has lost 2 villagers. Now he doesn't have wood. Dang. Meanwhile, over here, still no villagers dead. It was a spearman versus a scout trade there. And Sitaux really wants some revenge right now. You could easily get it. And what's interesting is Sitaux had added a range. But look at his wood eco now. It's all straggler trees as he waits for another lumber camp. But the range just feels all mistimed now because he probably was planning on going to gold and making a mining camp. But then he ran out of wood, and so now he's just got 1 archer. Slam doesn't have that much on food, though. Slam's eco is really imbalanced right now. He's taking berries forward. That's 2 of his 7 on food. Look at his wood count. You want more farms right now if you're the Franks. So I think Sitaux could easily bring this one back. Slam, if he had 5 or 6 scouts right now, boom, kills more villagers instantly. But he's only got 3. He is Franks, though, so he's got the extra HP, so he thought about killing the spearman there. Still should consider it. And this archer might end up paying off a lot here for Sitaux because it will help against these spears, and then he's still got 4 scouts to work with. Slam can't make a defensive tower because he made the offensive tower. Slam knows about the range, though, and he is adding skirms. So he saw that. Hasn't seen his opponent on gold yet, but Slam runs into one spearman, runs into another spearman. Oh, boy, this hurts. But he's also microing here right now. So I don't know where both players are looking. But I can tell you the spearmen are actually going to go down. So villagers could go down here. Villagers could also kind of go down here. Very hard to call how this is playing out right now. So far, Slam hasn't lost a single villager. He has not lost a single villager this game. He actually has held and kind of defended from that, as awkward as it was. What a ridiculous game here. Sitaux still, though, on gold. So now he could make more archers. Farming count's looking better and better. He's been able to save himself with the wood situation a bit. Sitaux just wants a villager kill. It's probably so frustrating that he hasn't got one yet. And finally, he's going to get one. Sometimes when it rains, it pours, right? You get one, and it's going to lead to 2 or 3 more after. And that looks like that's the case here. There's no way Slam should be able to avoid losing another vill here. He will, however, end up killing most of the scouts. So eco is dead even. Army count's actually pretty low for both. And this has been a really fun game thus far. Sato would never imagine that Slam's taking these berries. It's such a funny thing. But that's helped Slam. Okay, so now that Slam is primarily on skirmishers, the stable's already up for Sato, and he should be thinking about scouts, which he is. We'll see if Slam wants to make archers with Franks. It doesn't feel that natural. 16 farms versus 14 farms, so Slam's food eco should be better. He's collected more wood and more food. Obviously, he hasn't taken much gold. The problem with skirms, though, is you can't really use them offensively. Like, you're not going to kill villagers very efficiently with them. And Sato looking around, I think he's looking for those vills. He's going to find them. He's going to find them. That's super funny. Archer Scout is a lot more practical application, I feel, than Skirm and Spearman in most cases. But that is a lot of Skirms and a lot of Spears. And these villagers have been spotted. Slam knows he's been spotted, so he will keep a close eye on that. Basically, the Scouts counter the Skirms, and then the Spearmen counter the Scouts. Or, sorry, wait, no. The Scouts counter the Skirms, and then the Archers counter the Spears, is what I meant to say. But, as we are going to see, the first tower for Sato to protect this area. This is the classic tower defense into a counterattack. Big, 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 big move here from Sato. I love the decision to do this, honestly. But the wood line is now a concern. So, great play all around. Slam is going to feel some pain one way or another. Both players are going to have villagers that are not too in love with their lives. Slam sees that weak villager from earlier. What? He recognized a tattoo she had or something? They all look the same. What in the world? Anyway, Slam desperate for the next stage right now. I think he needs to place a tower in his wood line, and he agrees. He buys a tower and drops the tower there, but now he can't take gold. And Slam's still trying to slowly pick away villagers. Sato is kind of all in here. Slam isn't going to be able to go Castle Age anytime soon. The tower's helpful, right? The tower was a good call. Yeah, MBL loves the Skirm Spearman play. You do still have the tools to be able to kill the Scout Archer. It's just easier to micro Scouts and Archers than it is Spearmen and Skirmishers. I actually prefer Sato's position right now. Slam getting the tower up on gold, though, is really important. Because now he can take gold. Here, Slam still trying to, at the very least, force Sato to make more army. And Sato has made quite a bit of army here. Eventually, Slam's going to lose all these skirmishers, though, and he should sense that. But if Sato makes too many scouts, then it might delay his Castle Age. That's kind of the thinking here. And yeah, the Spearman... Wow, Slam's micro is really good. Just to hold on a little bit longer and get some nice hits, but... Slam is going to lose all of these skirmishers. And again, skirmishers... Not really the best with Franks anyways, so maybe that's not the biggest deal here. Oh, big find here, possibly for Sitaux. No, it is a big find. He's going to kill all the ranged units from Slam. So Slam clicks up to Castle Age. He's losing army in the south, and he's losing army here. And now Slam needs another tower on his wood line. And actually, because of that stone wall, he can't just buy the tower. Oh, disaster. That's so bad. Oh, he didn't do the math. Because towers are 125 stone, right? So had he just placed the palisade there, which obviously he didn't because he's worried the units could break through, then he would have 25 stone, and if he were to buy 100 more, he'd have 125 stone. That said, Sato didn't go there, which is surprising to me. So this is where knights will thrive, right? Because the map is super open, and there's basically no walls for Sato. Sato goes underneath the tower here. Still very surprising to me that he didn't go to the wood line. He does kill a Vil. Does idle some eco. Slam's going to be knowing knights. That's obvious. For Sato, he's adding ranges. So Sato wants to go for Cav Archers. Since the weakness of Cav Archers, in my opinion, is the time it takes to mass them. So I could see this being a bit nightmarish for Sato initially. But then again, this is an army that Slam pretty much has to kill. I'd like to see Slam send the first knights forward, and then the next knights go here, though. I think what you don't want is you don't want Sato to have time. You still have the food. You have good gold count. There go the knights. And +2 armor coming in for Slam as well. So yeah, if you were a civilization that could make houses, you could, in a quick wall scenario, just go like house, 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 couple palisades. To have to fully palisade this is going to be really difficult. But sometimes it's almost a strength in these situations to not be thinking about defense at all. And you just mass army constantly. Crossbows on the way, Bodkin's on the way for the archers there. Here comes Slam with the first 2 knights. And I think the 12 crossbowmen here should be enough to push the knights away. But they have to stay at home, which is the last thing a player like Sato wants to do. And, well, there go the knights. They go right to the gold. And, well, at least you have a tower to hop into. But Slam with some nice blocking gets his first Vil kill in castle. And could even find more. But Sato should hop in and out of the tower if he can. Yeah, Slam's going to love this. This is huge for him. What a great start to Castle Age. The +2 armor is helping out so much here against the towers and the Cav Archers. And Slam's got some things to worry about at home right now. He did lose a villager because the crossbows are sitting on this hill. Did get the TC up on the wood line, though, which is pretty big for him. It seems like for now, the Cav Archers for Sato are going to mass at home. And Slam is going to just simply loop back home to clear this. Which could be a little bit problematic because there's some spearmen, but at the end of the day, it's spearmen versus +2 knights. Something I see players run into all the time when going knights, from low elo to high elo, is if they add that second town center too early, they then run out of the food to produce knights at the same time as producing villagers. And so we are now approaching a situation for Slam. He needed the TC. The TC wasn't bad, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to consistently produce knights past the 10th night. It looks like he's really struggling for food eco, right? So I think he's going to need a siege workshop. Slam, I might have missed something here. It looks like these knights maybe got more eco kills. He's going to run away. He knows it's Cav Archers now. And he's waiting for what he needs to do next. He's going to go even for a 3rd TC. So again, that's going to make knight production very difficult. I expect a lot of idle TC time for Slam here. And guys, I prefer Sato's position. Cav Archers are very cheap for Huns. It's wood and gold. The food eco that he does have, super easy to produce Vils out of his TCs with. The Slam is had to play pretty defensive. But I prefer Sato's position if he can continue to mass and if he can continue to pick off some Vils. And while it's made life difficult for Slam over here, Slam could just choose to run over here and kill the crossbows. I think now that the TC's up, and it will be in a second anyways, I think Slam may decide to just go back here because he needs wood. He's actually just going to go to this wood line. Sato should be thinking, where's the guy going to take wood now? Look at it from Sitau's perspective. He backs away for now. He's like, the knights aren't anywhere I can see. So he's probably coming for me. And then he thinks about it, doesn't see anything yet. He says, okay, I'll go back. And now he's not seeing lumberjacks. And now he's seeing the red knights. What a great call from Sitaux, though, to know that the knights could be coming towards him here. The Slam was hoping to surprise him. And Slam now needs to back away. And there's TC number 3 for Sitaux. Trying to TC somewhere near a wood line. Again, you can't build on the rock terrain, so you kind of just have to go for that. Slam being chased by the Cav Archers. The number is now 18 Cav Archers. There's still crossbowmen delaying farms and being extremely annoying. Slam has pretty much opted for army numbers over villagers, though, which I actually think is the right play right now. It's going to need a tower. Oh, boy. Sitau's looking for a wood line somewhere. He saw a couple of trees were chopped, so that'll give him an idea, and he's going to see a tower now. As Sitaux will see this, and he'll feel like he's doing a really good job here. Forcing a tower like that. Always a good sign. But it was still the right play from Slam to drop the tower. I just think he needs to make sure he deals with the army here. Slam probably wanted to kill the crossbowman on the other side. Didn't expect Sitaux to go underneath the tower, and Sitaux absolutely did. Couple knights here from Slam, though, and Sitaux with some ridiculous quick walls. You've no houses, man. Do you know how hard this is? That was sick. And a sick play from Slam to make the move to do that while everything else is happening, too. There's 2 high-level moves. Sitaux with a 10-villager lead, though. 10-villager lead's pretty significant here. These crossbowmen that got value, at the very least in distracting Slam, they will finally be killed off. I'd like to see Slam save the weak knight, but he's got too many other things to worry about. And what does Sitaux do? Sitaux says, haha, that's funny. I go to your wood line then, fool. And, oh, this is good. This could end the game. This is so bad. So many villagers are going to go down. It is worth it. When you have an untouched economy at home, it is worth it to lose most of these Cav Archers to kill these vills. And will he? It's just a feudal age tower. It's just fletching. There's nothing else really here from Slam right now. Scorpions will arrive and hope to get some pretty big hits. But there's a whole lot of red. And there's very little blue on the ground there at Slam's base. Now a 25 villager lead for Sitaux. And again, what more can you really do besides make knights and boom right now? You gotta stick with your strengths if you're Slam. And Slam with the counterattack, needing villager kills, is way under the TC. More than Sitaux expected. Finds some kills of his own. And he does still have... No, he lost these scorpions, so he doesn't actually still have scorpions. I think Knight Scorpion is the right composition, but it's all about the timing on when you take the fights. The Scorpions do a good job at doing a lot of damage to multiple Cav Archers at the same time. But man, like, the eco is just flying for Sitaux. Now if you look at res collected, wow, Slam's still ahead, which shocks me. Maybe that has something to do with some of the eco upgrades that are in. But 26 Cav Archers, Ballistics now on the way. Slam could get a really big Scorpion shot. Ooh. A Slam sneaking? Sitaux? Not seeing it? No, he does notice. Good reaction there. So yeah, now the TCs, since they have Bodkin, and they've had Bodkin for a while, will help out a lot versus the Knights, and now the Cav Archers aren't missing their volleys. So I think the next thing on your list of things you want here, if you're the Franks, is you want defensive castles everywhere, or offensive castles. Lots of Scorpions for Slam, though. This army basically needs to pull all these units out of position, and then Slam needs to try and find some damage elsewhere right now. 90 villagers for Sitaux. Dang. This Slam's being so annoying. Slam's being such a pest. I love that. I love it. He's got this massive army he's running away from. It's bought him so much time. And now a couple knights go in here, and Sitau's unable to get the quick walls down. And now the knights go in here, and Sitau's going to lose a lot more villagers. Slam is back in this game. Look at the kills he's found himself here. And he can continue to run into Sitau's base, and he can drop a forward castle at Sitau's base. And Sitaux is scrambling. He's got the army number, but he just can't keep up with the knights. Slam continues to raid, and the castle's just perfect. Obviously, a defensive castle. It would have been pretty rough for Slam because he's been behind in villagers. Now, unfortunately for Slam, I don't think he thought about this gold, and maybe it was too close to the Cav Archers to be able to really justify. But had he placed the castle here, then suddenly, you know, Sitaux has less gold to work with. Sitau's sick of this right now, and Sitau's like, I need a counterattack. And Slam, he's not seeing the Cav Archers from Sitaux. He's going to find so many kills because of it. And as Slam kills his 24th, 5th, 6th villager, he's hoping this TC doesn't get found, and it will absolutely be found. Yikes. Oh, and I love this. You leave half the Cav Archers there, and then you bring the rest to some other areas. Scorpion army for Slam, continuing to push in towards Sitau's eco. But that hurt, man. And so after this big flurry, you have 40 Cav Archers for Sitaux. They still can't really be dealt with. He's got enough to defend himself. At least, yeah, I mean, the Scorpions are still awkward, but for the most part, he's got enough to defend himself. And then he's got enough that Slam can't deal with at his base. And it might be GG. There's been a lot of blood. I don't think there were too many misplays in this game from either player. I think it was just a messy, scrappy, ridiculous battle. I think the timings from both players are pretty solid. It's been high-level play the whole way around. You can't have like a perfect Land Madness game. Very difficult to do that. It's called Land Madness for a reason. But we said it in Dark Age. Cav Archers, man. I just don't know what you do. Your Slam, besides get a bigger lead before the Cav Archers come out. I think Sitaux, it's not going to look pretty here, but he's going to produce a couple knights just to try and help out with the Scorpions. And once this is killed, he's going to feel like he can't lose this game. Maybe Slam could consider another forward castle here, because at least it's close. Not going to be easy. Sitaux did kill some of these Scorpions. Yeah, that knight's going to finish off the rest of them. These Cav Archers found more kills. Yep, there go the Scorps. 50 Cav Archers now for Sitaux. Oh, okay. That's as good as it gets for Scorpions. But you're going to lose the Scorpions anyways. And Sitaux even adding more town centers to the side here. Oh, no, that doesn't work. Slam has known this has been bad for quite some time. This is the castle you needed to go for. This is the right play. The only castle you could maybe make happen because it's close enough to your other castle. But you can't kill this many CA at this point. And after an amazing first game, which was so high level, we see another great game from these two. Sitaux gets the job done. Man, I loved everything about this game. I loved the initial tower from Slam, which I didn't think would really be something that would come to his mind. It did. I loved the defense initially. Like, remember, I was surprised Slam hadn't lost villagers in the first couple attacks from Sitaux. That was really good. I felt like the timings of his knight attacks and the damage he did in early Castle Age was solid. But Huns are Huns, man. And when it's open, when it's messy, and you're up against a Knight Civ and you can go into the Cav Archers, it could work out really well for you. The wood situation for Sitaux was pretty ridiculous to look at. But yeah, and it was a game where Slam was finding villager kills, but he wasn't able to engage against the Cav Archers. So you can kill villagers, and that's good. That prevents your opponent from making as much army in the future. But once they get to about 30, 35 Cav Archers, you better have a whole lot more knights than they do, because or than they do Cav Archers, because otherwise they're just going to hit and run against you. Someone in chat says, Slam tried to play melee units. That's always a throw. Interesting statement, considering he won the first game with melee units. Interesting statement. Okay, more food, more gold for Slam makes sense when you're making knights. For Sitaux, he had more stone, he had more wood collected. I think this really says everything. Actually, if you look at the amount of units created, this says a lot. 75 Cav Archers produced in that game, and he also had all those TCs. Also, in the stressful times, not having to build houses, like not getting population capped, pretty huge. But of course, you're not spending the wood on houses either, right? So wood savings and cheap cav archers going a long way. Good stuff. One of the rare times we see the Hun succeed these days. Makes me happy. All right, so we speculated on what civilization Sitaux might go for here because he did pick Khmer first in his draft, but final game in this series, and whoever wins this game will then be first in their group, which would be pretty exciting stuff for them. But Sitaux did not opt for his first pick. He opts for his fourth pick in Ethiopians. Ethiopians have a ridiculous late game, but how do the Ethiopians stop the Cuman boom? This is Slam's home map. He picks Cumans early. It is expected that he will probably go fast feudal into a second TC here. It should be pretty easy for him to get going on that. And one of the best ways, pretty much the only way I think that you can punish the Cumans these days is fast castle, night siege. I don't think fast castle crossbow siege is that good, simply due to the fact that the Cuman player will go for their defensive siege, and then the defensive siege works against your siege and your crossbows. Whereas if you go night siege, the defensive siege from the Cuman player would be under threat from the knights. And then you at least force the Cuman player to also add like camels, or also have the need for monks. They just have to add more stuff. But yeah, what can I say, man? Like, this group in gold has been insane. And if tomorrow, like, what would make this group the most interesting is if tomorrow Overtaken beats Kingston 2-1. Then I think, keep in mind that Sitaux and Slam after this will have concluded 4 rounds. And Kingston and Overtaken after tomorrow will only have completed 3. But let's say Slam wins this game. Then you have Slam at 7 wins after 4 rounds. You have Sitaux. Wait. Am I right on that? No, I think there's 6. No, Slam would have 8 wins after 4 rounds. Sitaux would have 7 wins after 4 rounds. Dragonstar would have 6 wins after 3 rounds. Then it would be like Kingston 5 wins after 3 rounds. Overtaken 5 wins after 3 rounds. Like, the group is just insane. And then there's poor Stark, who is 0-9 right now. Stark could spoil people's positions in this group, right? He's going to be super desperate for wins. But even just getting 1 win off any of the remaining 2 players he's to play against could really throw things for a loop, because everyone else has played, like Sitaux and Slam both have played Stark this far and won 3-0. At least on paper, I think Group C is looking the craziest right now in terms of the fight from the top, guys. I think it's Group D, the group that has MBL, Nili, Kasva, Dark. What am I missing? Thought I had another Turkish player. No, I'm missing names here. Oh, I think... No, that doesn't. The group was Z40. Shoot, can someone in my chat please remind me who's all in Group D? It's a 4-way tie for, like, 3rd to 6th place right now. You've got 4 players both on 3 wins. And then you have, I think it's MBL at the top and then Dark right behind it. But yeah, it's fun stuff to talk about, man. It's Kasva, Rapard, Nili, FedEx. Those 4. Yeah, those 4 are all tied right now at 3 wins. So, I think with 2 rounds to go. And honestly, it's going to be tough for me to really pick out, as we see it will look like a forward here from Sitaux. It's going to be hard for me to pick out who's going to be best from those 4. I think if I had to lean towards anyone, I think I would probably say Rapard and FedEx. Anyways, this will be the 2 TC play for Slam. And Sitaux is looking to apply some pressure here. He'll get plus 100 food and plus 100 gold when he gets to the next stage. That's an Ethiopian bonus for you. He's going fast feudal. And I'm sure he'll make at least 1 tower. A little like tip for you on Hideout if you're ever rushing like this and you're wondering where the berries might be, which is an area you'd love to tower. Look for the house. Because usually players will go house and then mill. Or at the very least, they will... If they're going to build a house, they're going to build it behind the walls with villagers that are nearby. The only reason for players to be nearby on hideout here is for the mill. And I think Sitaux knows this. And if that tip helped you, say, wow, thank you. He's going to go for the range there. Slam is going to be surprised that his opponent's in Feudal. And now he sees the tower. But he can't counter tower unless he's collecting stone already, which he is. Ooh, interesting. But now he can't drop the second TC yet. And now he's gone for the mining camp. So he's going to have the stone, but he's not going to have the wood for the second TC. So this does delay the 2 TC boom for Slam. It's kind of good that he can make the tower in defense of this whole thing. But it's also kind of bad that his second town center was a bit delayed. Basically, what Sitaux is aiming to do here is he's going to set all of his new archers inside of this tower and shoot this down. Well, actually, I think this is... It's really hard to know in these moments, truthfully. But I actually don't like what he's doing now. Because I think what Slam can do is Slam can just take this tower out. And then he can just build 2 houses behind here. Whereas if he stayed in this tower, he would... Then again, he never breaks in. Oh, it's so tricky. It's really tricky, honestly. I can kind of see both sides of it. Slam being on stone that early, though, it allows him the potential for towers. Of course, has less on food and less on wood. Slam, I think, hoping that this tower defends the berries and then the TC defends the wood. Which, I mean, the TC does build pretty slow here. Oh, God! Does Sitaux run in? Is the big question here. Does Sitaux run past? I think that tower might be in range of the TC. Sitaux wanted damage. He certainly found it. Killed one Vil. Did lose an archer. Slam. Okay, that tower was in range of that TC. Sitaux just deletes it. Look at Slam's eco, man. It's messy. And Sitaux just hoping to deny farm space, I guess. Oh, he wants to rush the tower! Oh! This is nuts! This is nuts! I don't know if this is good or bad. We'll find out, folks. If the archers are dead, this is bad. If the archers are dead, this is very bad. The archers are going to be dead. Oh, this is bad. New gate for Slam. He says, sup, bro? Yeah, sure. I'll show you around my base. Over here, we've got a TC. Over here, we've got another TC, actually. I know that's pretty rare. We've got berries. We've got stone. That said, like, Slam's not really producing villagers consistently out of both of his TCs. This is, like, really not ideal in terms of the eco setup. And still Sitau's making more archers. So, I guess it depends on how long Sitaux can keep the villagers running around for Slam. But I actually don't think this is horrible for Sitaux, even if he loses the vills, as long as Slam can't produce a lot more. That's a lot of idle time. Yeah, Sitau's done a good job. Look how many farms Slam has. He's got 4. And Sitau's going to have a market come up at some point. I could even see him selling his stone. And just selling his stone in order to buy food to go for a fast castle agent pressure. But for now, he's trying to be as annoying as possible. And annoying he has been. Slam, you need to actually just take a little bit of a deep breath here. And just make sure that you're placing farms. And make sure that you've got food eco here. These villagers still alive for Sitaux. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And Slam's just going to drop a tower. That's actually really smart. You drop a tower, those villagers are going to have to leave. I think the villagers can make it out, though. Vil counts 34 versus 30. Oh, no, 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 no! Tower! Villagers, no! No! Slam, you animal! Oh, what a tease. What a tease. Wow, it's like, if this was a TV show, what they would do is this would happen at the end of the season. Like right here. No, right about here. This is the end of the season. And then you have to wait another 18 months until you find out what actually happens here. If it was like a somewhat crappy TV show, because that would be mean. All right, catching up to live time. Now Slam can full boom. This is where I think Sitaux actually sells all of his stone. I think he realizes this is really bad, or feels as though it's really bad, and sells stone. Yeah. I feel like you have to, because Castle Age is key here. And I don't think dropping a castle with Ethiopians is necessarily something that you get too excited about. So I think that that was the correct play from Sitaux. And he's bringing more villagers to stone. So that's a bit weird. Sells the stone because he kind of needed to get the gold to buy food. And then actually brings more over to stone so he can drop a castle. But drop a castle with what? And where? You have to walk across the map to drop it. This is really good for Slam. Slam going... Excuse me. Sorry. Slam going to stone is not something you see every day. And I think this counter tower was not something that Sitaux expected to be up against here. Slam's just going to drop another tower here, which I would consider... I think this is an unimportant tower. I guess if you're worried about your opponent going knights, you might see a wall here as well. Just so knights can't run through, but even then, if they run in, they're running into TCs. But you wouldn't want knights to go this way. Slam using the market as well. He's buying food. Sitaux runs in with the archers. Remember, he's an archer civ. And here he comes. Honestly, this tower will help push back a potential castle. The castle could have actually gone all the way up here. That's a really smart tower now that I think about it. I would never have placed this. But yeah, that is probably to prevent the castle. Because now the castle has to be further back instead of being really far forward. That is really smart. Slam is on the way to castle. Sitaux's in castle, and he's going to drop this castle like it's hot. Sitaux's like, here, kill my archers, please. Kill my archers. Oh, it's Slam. Well, okay. I mean, you might as well kill the archers. He hasn't garrisoned too many villagers here. And he's going to drop a tower back here. So 51 villagers versus 32. Sitaux on the offensive. Archers will go down. Sitaux's only killed 2 units in this game. One was a Vill and one was Slam Scout. The idle time for Sitaux is going to be insane. These villagers need to collect the resource now, and he says, why not more stone, baby? I think this Shotel is going to go whoop right by. I think he's going to do a loop right in towards whatever could be over there. Because you can't go here and you can't go here. But this tower actually does enough. Like, Shotels do not have a lot of HP. I guess like you could just sit underneath the tower and attack the tower, but I think Slam will be okay. You look back at home for Sitaux, and he just does not have a free-flowing economy. For Slam, he's had more villagers for quite a while now. We'll see what he wants to make. He's going to make a knight, and he's going to make a step lancer. But he can't really move. He can't use his extra economy for good. Oh, but he had expanded here. This is really smart. This is really good. Now I can breathe a bit. Like, I think Sitaux, if he wants to drop a castle anywhere, when he goes for this next one, he would have wanted it over here. But I don't see how he really has the army to control the area now. He would have to drop it and then quick wall the vills because all that Slam has is melee units. Can Slam see? I can't see those vills are on stone. That would tell him another castle's going to come up. He's just going to drop it further in Slam's base. Okay, he's going to try and take out the tower. I like this castle. Sitaux's doing everything he can here. I just drop it right there. Oh, that's a good spot. Oh, that could be an epic spot. Oh, and it'll go up too, I think. I don't know what Slam does about that. We might need to see a full evacuation here from Slam. He's got to get out of here. Guys, that's his farming eco. This castle gives Sitaux a chance. Now, I don't like Rams at all against Shotels. Shotels do 16 attack. Villagers are around 2, so the villagers could take out Rams. Wow. Slam has to evacuate his base now. Both these TCs are in range of the castle. And there he places another TC. And Sitaux's still taking some stone at home. He's almost out, but he could take more stone on the front. So maybe his next castle ends up over here? Say goodbye, farming eco. These villagers just enjoyed the safe life of being a farmer. It's not so safe anymore. Slam is counterattacking now. That's a big thing that if he could do more of, there's no defense for Sitaux. And Sitau's just, he recognizes he's behind in Vills. So he's hoping the castles are going to do enough for him. And he's dropping the second TC to catch up economically. So Sitau's going to follow. And Slam tracking this. And what you see Slam switch the conversion. He realizes two of these are weak. Showtells are just, they're just not really it, you know? It's sad as it is. I love the Showtell Warrior. This is not a unit you get that excited about in this type of game. And oh man, Sitaux even deletes them. Well, Sitaux will never get pop locked because he's got 2 castles. And Sitaux says again this bug. Earlier in the series, for perspective, he said that he wasn't getting attack noises or conversion noises. So that's what he's referring to there. Honestly, you know, again, a situation where I'm not sure if the knowledge of the conversion, maybe if he didn't know about it in general, but not sure if it changes the situation. And yet again, bug does happen when he's very far behind. I mean, he's significantly behind right now. Earlier in the day, he was just a little bit behind. Now, we see now why Slam chose Cumans. So, it's looking pretty good. He's going to drop a castle. He could make some kip checks. I also really like Slam's thinking about the other side, and so is Sitaux. I think what Slam needs to do now, and it should be something that comes to his mind, is he needs his castle to be over here on Sitau's face. Oh my god, Sitau's actually going to go forward. Wow. Okay, so Sitau's going to try and castle drop Slam. But this is like... I think he recognizes how bad this is, and he felt like it had to be extreme. That should be spotted, and if Slam spots that, that never happens. This should never have a chance. I don't know what Sitau's doing there. So the previous round for Sitaux, he lost to Dragonstar 2-1. There were some epic games. And right now, as he tried to build a gate to protect the monk, does build the gate to protect the monk. Well played, Sitaux, but it's looking like Sitaux is going to lose this series 2-1 as well. The Slam, he's bringing villagers for some reason, probably for the castle. Has to be a little bit careful here, but it's not exactly like there's a full army here for Sitaux. Slam is just going to castle drop this. He's just going to tower it. I mean, tower's pretty smart as well. Okay. This looks like something out of a Loey the Legend game. All right. Slam's lost his original 2 TCs. Or sorry, he hasn't lost that yet, but he's about to. But doesn't seem too bothered because he's got more TCs, and this will stop Sitau's next castle. Sitaux might need to use the villagers that are on the front of Slam's base to build the next castle then. You have to try something. There's just no good spot for that next castle. Oh, Kipchek's able to kill the monk in the last second. Oh, man. GG from Sitaux as he taps out. And, you know, for Sitaux, I think everyone said, or everyone would have said that he was favored to be first in this group. But he goes down 2-1 here. And he now finds himself behind Slam. Slam top of Group C. Still some sets to be played. And I will actually review who these guys have to play in their final round here in a second, because I got to remind myself of that. But a huge performance from Slam here. Sorry, I got it wrong. Very well played from him. And honestly, I just don't think Sitaux went for a strategy that is good to stop the Cuman boom. I just have never really seen tower into archers be the strat. What I have seen be the strat, and I'm telling you, it's not easy still. I'm not acting like it's the easiest thing. But the way I've seen it punished before is knights and siege. Knight siege civ. And he had Khmer picked first. I'm sure he was thinking about it. Could have just waltzed forward, maybe made a stable, made a couple knights, made some siege. But would have been a very different game then, obviously. You know, and the other thing is unique unit play. So Spanish, go conquistadors. Turks, go Janissaries. Like, basically, go castle drop with a civilization that has a really good ranged unique unit. Shotel Warriors, not really the unit there from what I saw. So, anyways, awesome win for Slam. And Slam's looked incredible. 26 and 9 KD there. Human Eco is really hard to stop. And that's why Slam went for it. My favorite thing about how Slam played this series is how he went in with confidence with his picks. Because I have seen Slam try and think about, okay, what's the opponent going to do? How do I counter that? He's thought that way too frequently at times in tournaments. Here he just said, what's my best civ? What's my best strat? Boom, go for it. Doesn't think about counter matchups at all. Just played to his strengths and played to the strengths of the map. And I've just watched Slam so many times over the past decade now. I'm happy to see that nice little tweak in his approach. All right, so the final round for Slam, I think it's against Dragonstar, which should just be ridiculous. Let me give the people the information here. Final round for Slam will indeed be Dragonstar. And then the final round for Sitaux will be Kingston. Sheesh, dude. And as it stands right now, at the time of recording this, Kingston's only played 2 rounds and he's at 4 wins. So, Kingston has to play Overtaken, Kingston has to play Stark, and then Kingston plays Sitaux. It is very possible for Kingston to overtake Sitaux, very possible for Dragonstar to overtake Sitaux, and Overtaken, it's at 2 wins with 3 rounds to go. Sitau's position is a little bit iffy in this group if he wants to make playoffs. Still think he can win his final round and probably make playoffs, and I favor him to do so, but just things to think about. And according to the Statafrax sheet that we have, Slam is now 41% chance to get first place and win the group. That's awesome. Awesome for Slam. Good for him. Actually, I want to see the rest of the odds. Could we possibly edit that into the end of these videos? Let's see. All right, so again, there's a lot of things that need to be played out here, but I think it'd be fun to talk about this after each and every series. Based on the result there, Slam now 41% odds to get first place in the group. Very, very unlikely he's ever relegated, which would be 5th or 6th place. The fact that it's even possible is ridiculous. But advantage Slam in terms of the hunt for first place. Sitaux, he's now unlikely to get first, so unlikely to immediately qualify for Platinum next season, and is likely 2nd through 4th, but with greater odds to be 4th, which means he doesn't have a chance at the playoffs, which is pretty ridiculous. Again, a lot is going to change based on Overtaken and Kingston because they still have 3 rounds left to play, but Kingston's odds pretty freaking sharp, and especially the fact that Slam has to play Kingston in his final round is pretty wild. Am I correct in saying that? Crap, I'm second guessing myself. No, Slam has to play Dragonstar. I'm stupid. I'm so sorry. Slam beat Kingston? Was that it? No, Kingston beat Slam. Oh! This group is crazy. I hope people are excited because I'm excited. Sorry, Stark, by the way. This is just not looking good for you down here.